Welcome back to the Prairie View Cricket Complex for Game 2 of the coverage of the second day of the Houston Youth Premier League 2024. This one features the Katy Raiders against the TCC Kings. TCC Kings have won the toss, and Captain or Vice Captain Guhan Mehta decided to have a bowl, so they'll be bowling first and putting the TCC Kings, putting the Katy Raiders under pressure. I would imagine that the Katy Raiders would still be under some pressure because of their, let's call it, anemic performance with the bats in the earlier game. But you could turn that on its head and say that they will be very motivated to take advantage of knowing that, you know, you had a relatively poor poor performance and you're looking to make up for things. Yeah. So, batters Sohan Matam and Arya Kananta. Bowler is going to be Aryan Tamala. Aryan Tamala, right arm orthodox. And it's an interesting move to start with a right arm orthodox bowler bowling to Sohan Matam from the end where if he hits the ball in the air, the wind will help. It is a really interesting decision. And I want to see exactly how that works out, because in many ways it's like rolling the dice. A very strong wind that's coming from the south. Aryan Tamala is bowling from the northern end of the ground, so Sohan Matam, who is a big strong man, will be hitting with the wind if he gets to elevate it. So it's going to be very important for Aryan Tamala to keep the ball out of driving length. And it will be interesting to see how he handles that. Two outside the circle, you're obviously inside the power play. The only two outside the circle are at long on and long off. Umpires for the day are going to be the great Herman Geddes, and we'll get back to the other umpires shortly. Aryan Tamala is ready. Played on the ground to extra cover for no run. That is a good start. What you're going to want to do is keep him from elevating the ball. If he's not able to elevate the ball, then that puts you in the position of being able to keep him quiet. But if you allow him to elevate it, he can hit it a mile. Played into the covers again. Good start by Aryan Tamala. 2 balls, 2 dots. Mentioned one umpire is Herman Geddes. He's standing at square leg. Other umpire, who is now the standing umpire, is Vivek Raj. There he goes, wound up big for that one, but it's a good length that's kept by Aryan Tamala. Is able to keep it out of the hitting zone. Once again, if anything is tossed up and if it goes in the direction of where he can get under it, Sohan Matam, he can hit it a mile. But you kept him quiet, 2 dots and a single. Let's see whether or not Arya Kananta can do something better. Looks for the outside edge. Appeal for a catch. No, not given. But importantly, it's a dot. So this is a great start, and I thought it was a bit of a gamble to choose to bowl the spinner first from this end, but so far it has worked out for the TCC Kings. 2 balls remaining now in over number 1. Oh, came off of the glove, I think, but landed before it got to first slip. But importantly, again, another dot. So we're just now to the point where we're about to close out a really good first over here for Aryan Tamala. Played it into the offside. Just another dot. 1 run coming from the first over under these circumstances is a brilliant effort by Aryan Tamala. Really well bowled for him. End of the first over, 1 without loss. Brilliant first over bowled by Aryan Tamala. Only 1 run conceded. And again, at the risk of being repetitive, that over was bowled from the end where the wind would have helped the batters hit down the ground. So, change in bowling now where it will be Mark Sagia Babu, who celebrated a birthday in the last week, if I remember correctly. Mark Sagia Babu bowling from the highway end, bowling right arm pace, bowling to Sohan Matam. Now, for him, I would actually want to encourage him to play the ball in the air. There's fielders in the deep, a deep fine leg and deep third, so it doesn't look like that's going to be the plan, but that's played through the offside for 4. Easy as you like. Sohan Matam just leaning on that one and punching it through the offside. I started saying that if you wanted to encourage him to play it down the ground, that would be an option, because from this direction, anything in the air would be sort of prevented by the wind from going very far. But the field setting, 2 fielders allowed outside the circle. They're both in the deep behind square, on the one on the offside, one on the leg side. Deep fine leg, or let's call it deep backward square leg. That's Captain Arjun Mahesh. And at deep fine leg, there is another fielder there. But they're looking to encourage him, I would think, to bowl short. Oh, I tell you what, this is down the leg side. It's going to be a signal wide by umpire Herman Geddes. Sagia Babu has good pace, but if you get that ball too straight, as in where that one was headed, Sohan Matam will hit it a mile. In addition to him being strong, that sort of shot would be helped by the wind coming from that direction. Again, coming from the southwest would have helped it come in that direction. Good delivery this time. Bang on target. Defended in front of the stumps for no run. The Katy Raiders and the TCC Kings. We'll go through, maybe after the over, we'll go through standings. TCC Kings, first time seeing them today. We saw the Katy Raiders earlier, and they would have been disappointed with their efforts with the bat, especially given the way that they started. Whipped away into the deep. That's going to run close to the boundary at deep mid-wicket and get there now. So a couple of boundaries conceded here by Mark Sagia Babu. And Sohan Matam does not need to hit the ball big to score, because he's a very strong man. So any amount of bat on those, the ball races away. And of course, again, you're still inside the power play, so you're limited to the number of fielders you can have outside. The length at which he's bowling, I would suggest that it's going to be short of length because of the 2 fielders in the deep behind square. Oh, I'll tell you what, that's also behind square, behind the bowler also. But if he gets any bat on that, that is going to race away for runs. So a bit of an expensive over being bowled here by Mark Sagia Babu. 10 runs already from it, with only half of the deliveries, the legal deliveries bowled, and over, of course, is 6 legal deliveries. 2 wides to go along with 3 balls, 2 of which went for 4. That's a better delivery. Helps it to mid-wicket for a single, and that will now bring Arya Kananta, the captain, on strike. It will be important to see whether or not he helps himself to runs behind square on the leg side, because you've seen him in the past walk across to the offside and then access the leg side. My sense is that might have part of the reason to do with why there is a deep backward square leg, or a deep fine leg in position. Let's see if he's able to do that here. Defended this one into the covers, no run. Sagia Babu bowling to a 6-3 field. Mentioned the man who is at deep fine leg, that's Captain Arjun Mahesh. There's also a deep mid-wicket. I'm sorry, the mid-wicket inside the circle and the mid-on. And on the offside, you have a slip, you have a deep third, you have a backward point, you have a cover point, cover, and you have a mid-off. Drive gets through, piercing the gap behind square, and it's going to run away for 4. So that does complete a pretty expensive over by Mark Sagiababu. 15 runs coming from the over, 1 coming from the first over, but that 15 will make the Katy Raiders feel a little bit better about where they are. End of 2, 16 without loss. Two overs bowled, 16 without loss. Katy Raiders put into bat by the TCC Kings, who will like the second over more than they did the first. This is played, trickled in to the leg side. No run. Once again, Arian Tamala bowling from the forest end, and the hitters have the wind behind them, so he's going to be really careful here down the leg side, and so this is going to be a wide. First wide bowled by Arian Tamala. So in terms of where this entire tournament lies, maybe we'll go through that after this over. Sliced off the edge and taken. Oh, he's put it down. Oh, that is the most catchable delivery, and backward square or backward point will be really disappointed in that. It's off the edge. It is Sohan Matam. You absolutely have to take that catch, and he put it down. He'll be very disappointed with that. And this is drilled down the ground. Arjun Mahesh, who no doubt would have put his hand on his head when that happened. Oh my goodness, that's a big miss. To make inroads into this Katy Raiders attack. They have a good batting side, but if they give you chances, you can put them on the back foot. And unfortunately, didn't do it here. Quicker delivery, and he hammers it over the top of wide mid-on for 6. So insult added to injury here. Should have taken a wicket earlier in this over. He was put down at backward point. That was Sohan Matam. And now Captain Arya Kanantha taking full advantage of a delivery that maybe was a little too short. And he just rocked back and hammered it wide of long on, and it went away for 6. The first 6 of the innings. Boy, when it rains, it pours. That really does change the context of this game. Things could have been very different, but you do now have the opportunity to pull things back if you're Arian Tamala. Still 2 balls to bowl here in over number 3. Oh, looking to advance down the track. Maybe getting just a touch carried away that time. Arya Kanantha, thick on the edge. And that ball trickled. Actually a good piece of keeping by the keeper, who managed to keep it from rolling back past him. Would have been additional runs had he been able to, had that not been able to get by. Last ball. Defended it in front of the stumps for no run. That is the end of an over that cost 8 runs, but that should have taken a wicket. 8 runs coming from the over total. After 3, the score is 24 without loss. So change in bowling coming from the highway end. Captain Arjun Mahesh not happy with that first over from Mark Sagiababu. So he's made a change. It's going to be Saveer Gudipati bowling from that end, the highway end. Bowling with the wind at his back. And he's now bowling to Sohan Matam. Good delivery, played to mid-on, quick single, on the hand throw. Wouldn't have been in time anyway, but it missed the stumps. Saveer Gudipati again replacing Mark Sagiababu. And to the extent that things can be easier if you bowl the right lines and lengths from this end, because you're asking the batters to hit into the wind. It will be something that I think Saveer Gudipati will be encouraged by. This one defended by Arya Kanantha, no run. So you're 2 deliveries into the 4th over, so just past the halfway point of the power play, but still 2 overs and 4 balls remaining inside the power play. 25 runs on the board. Gives you an opportunity here though, but you have to be careful. Lofted over the top of extra cover, and it goes all the way for 4. Just for a split second, I thought it may have gone all the way for 6, but umpire Herman Getty is signaling that only hit the ground before it crossed the ropes. So you're going to be deflated by that, maybe from the last 6 or so deliveries, because the 4th ball of the previous over, make that the 3rd ball of the previous over, could have been a wicket. Ended up being a pretty simple chance that was fluffed. And then since then you've had a 4 and you've had a 6. And so now what are we going to do? Saveer Gudipati still operating inside the power play. There's a sweeper on the offside, so full and outside off is what I would expect. Plays this one into the covers, no run. And so now Arya Kanantha in particular, I would think, would be really motivated to give a better account for himself and his team than what they showed this morning. Fifth delivery of the over. Plays it into the offside. They'll get a single here. Pretty simple, as Vihan Mehta retrieves that. 6 from the over. 1 more ball to come. And Saveer Gudipati is going to have to close this out without much further damage. And I think that essentially the best way to be able to sort of pull your team up from a situation where their shoulders were drooped was by a good delivery here. Oh, opens him up. Sohan Matam played it well with soft hands in the end, but he certainly was defeated by that one. And they end up getting a bonus run. The ball trickles to short third. So 7 runs come from the over. 31 without loss is the score after 4. change in bowling as Ajay Prithviraj takes up the attack from the forest end. Bowling to Sohan Matam. Sohan Matam 13 from 12 with 2 fours. Ariakananta 13 from 12. Make that 15 from 12 with 2 fours and a 6. Prithviraj outside off. Too far outside off. He'll have to re-bowl that. Interestingly, before the ball was bowled, Sohan Matam taking a big step over to the offside. So under those circumstances, the umpire will think the wide line would have moved virtually with him, but he still gave it as a wide. Worked into the onside. He'll get a single. So that brings to the strike captain Ariakananta. Might be a good time to look at what the overall standings are. The ball is hit on the ground. Good diving stop. Good work. At extra cover, they'll get a single. But looking at the overall standings, and hopefully that would have been updated by the action that has taken place already. Wide outside off. Nope. Yep. He gave it as wide. So apologies for all of the... Oh my goodness, where is that gone? That is out of the stadium. That is an absolutely huge hit. That's the biggest of all the 6s that we've seen so far today. And it goes again from this end, hitting with the wind. You sort of cannot toss it up and ask a big strong man to hit it. And looking at the replay here, oh, just tossed up and in the slot. That's really the type of delivery. You may get away with that type of delivery bowling from the highway end, where you're asking them to hit into the wind. But with the wind at his back, that's the kind of delivery that Sohan Matam will be able to hit a mile. So work to do here to come back from that. Saw in many instances you've seen the batter or the bowlers from this end who are bowling spin elevate the ball, or sorry, don't elevate the ball, just push it through at pace and flat and short of driving length. That will work better than those types of deliveries. That is a little bit more like what you need to be bowling here, and that's defended for no run. So now just 1 ball remaining here in over number 5. Prithviraj needs to stay out of the hitting zone. Oh, looking big. Appeal and given. Oh my goodness. He tossed it up, asking for trouble for me, but a slight playing across the line, Sohan Matam. I think he was looking to play that to mid-wicket. May have been better off playing it inside the V. But to the extent that he was not able to do that, he went across the line, playing to mid-wicket, and I believe that trapped him just in front of leg stump. So that is the first wicket to fall. He was dropped a couple of overs ago. This time he was not dropped, but ended up playing across a straight one and trapped in front. First wicket goes down. The score is 41 for 1. That you just saw, ladies and gentlemen, is Darshan Haribabu, the new batter, defending to complete a successful over. 10 runs scored from that over, but the big wicket of Sohan Matam fell at the end of 5. The score is 41 for 1. First delivery of over number 6 is absolutely blasted over square leg for the second 6 of the innings. Make that the third 6 of the innings. Short from outside off, and it is Arakanantha who absolutely puts this one away without much fuss. He does not need an invitation to play those types of shots. And you're going to have to make him play down the ground from this end. There's a deep backward square leg, but I don't know that it makes sense to have that fielder there. I'd prefer to have him playing down the ground. And this is played now into the deep on the offside. You get a single. So Arakanantha, as of right now, fighting a lone battle. 22, make that 23 from 15 with 2 4s and 2 6s. And Darshan Haribabu, the vice captain, who will be taking strike to face his second delivery. No runs yet, not yet off the mark. Played away in the offside, that's well fielded. Awkward bounce, but he kept that ball in front of him. So that is the next 3 deliveries already now in over number 6. So just the last 3 remaining in the power play. And Darshan Haribabu and Arakanantha, captain and vice captain, are going to be in the position, I would think, where they want to keep pushing from where they are right now. Outside off, collected by the keeper. That's Moksh Gupta. Moksh Gupta is going to be, it's going to be important to see how well he does behind the stumps, because Arjun Mahesh, the captain, is not only the keeper ordinarily, but probably one of the better keepers that you'll find in the country. In fact, there's no probably. He's one of the better keepers you'll find in the country. Extra bounce, that's a great delivery, right on the right line. And it goes above the attempted cut shot by Darshan Haribabu. So the point I was making is, if you, as a captain, Arjun Mahesh, choose to give the gloves to somebody else, and in speaking with him beforehand, he thought that his hands were needed more in the outfield as compared to behind the stumps, then it does mean that the person who is replacing you behind the stumps dare not drop any catches and dare not have anything untoward happen. So this is stroked in the air, doesn't quite carry to mid-on. Does well to keep it in front of him. I said mid-on, I meant mid-wicket. Does well to keep it in front of him at mid-wicket. That is the end of the over. Good over. 7 runs coming from it. The first ball was a 6, but he kept it under control the rest of the way. And after the power play, the score is 48 for 1. So a quick look at the overall standings. Top team as of right now is the Texas Legends. They've won 2 and they've lost 1. So have the Skywalkers, but the Legends have the better net run rate, 1.1. And how things have changed, because before the day started, Katy Raiders were the best team in the league. After the tremendously huge loss this morning, they're now actually at the bottom of the table because they are 1 up and 2 down, but they took such a beating this morning that their net run rate is now worse than that of the other teams who also have that sort of record. TCC Kings and the Katy Raiders have the same record, 1 up and 2 down, but they're well behind on net run rate. And this ball is stroked wide, but it's going to be fielded down here on the boundary by Vice Captain Meta. So essentially, what we're looking at now is how well the Katy Raiders can get back into contention. They went from the top of the table to the bottom of the table very quickly, really in the space of a few hours. And so they have work to do to get caught back up. And now the TCC Kings, on the other hand, they are also 1 up and 2 down, but their net run rate is nowhere near as bad as the Katy Raiders. Tossed up, going down the leg side, swept into the deep. So, by the way, the 50 is now up. And with that 50, comes up in the 7th over. Is he out of the power play? And is HYPL continuing the dot ball there. And 2 balls remaining now in over number 7. Goes big, but catchable. No, in fact, nobody is out there. It goes all the way for 6, I believe. Nope, lands just in front of the rope. It was catchable in the sense that it wasn't going to be out of the stadium, but there was nobody at deep mid-wicket, and he ended up only escorting that one over the ropes. So it is now 57 on the board with 1 ball to go here in over number 7. And here's that last ball of over number 7 being bowled by HYPL. Tossed up and in the air just to the left of the fielder at backward point. He'll get a couple. And a productive over that time for the Katy Raiders. 11 runs coming from it. At the end of over number 7, the score is 59 for 1. Seven overs bowled, the score is 57 for 1. My apologies, I may have said 59, I meant 57. 57 for 1. Your batters are Darshan Haribabu, 7 from 9, and the captain Arakananta, 25 from 17. 2 of the 3 sixes that have been hit in this innings have been hit by Arakananta. Sohan Matam is the batter who's hit the other 6, but he's been dismissed. But overall, so far, it feels like the Texas or the Katy Raiders have given a better account of themselves with the bat than they did this morning. New bowler now, Rithvik Ramesh, coming from the highway end. 1 bounce, 2 bounces down to long on for a single. So again, from this end, you're not necessarily disappointed with the batters hitting the ball in the air, because that strong wind, which A has picked up, and B, which is absolutely making mincemeat of all the equipment here in the commentary area, will also help to push the ball back if it's elevated in that direction. Next ball, tossed up again, and plays it back past the bowler. Couldn't exactly get over in time to field it. And that's just a single. May not be too early to start thinking about projected scores. So as we stand, the score is 59 for 1. There's a dot ball there, so with that dot ball, scoring rate is 7.87. That scoring rate projects to a score of 157. 157, I would think, would be the low point of what they'd be looking for. Single that time to mid-wicket. Tossed up, whipped down to long on, wide long on. Enough coverage down there that all they'll get is a single. So 1 ball remaining. Good over on the way here by Rithvik Ramesh. Rithvik Ramesh, 1 delivery remaining, and this his first over, and he's only conceded 4 runs so far. Of course, he's bowling from the end. That would encourage that type of figure. Played off the back foot, fielded at backward point, no run taken. So good over overall. Ramesh's figures, 1 over bowled, none for 4. You'll take that all day. That is the end of over number 8. The score is 61 for 1. 61 for 1 is the score after 8. It is Darshan Haribabu on strike, 9 from 11. Arya Kananta, 27 from 21. Ajay Prithviraj continuing, 2 overs, 1 for 19 are his figures. And he's bowling to Darshan Haribabu. Tossed up, thought for a second about going for the big shot down the ground. Checked the shot in time. Starting with a dot ball here. Always a good thing to start with a dot ball, especially from this end. Tossed up, hammered back to the bowler who puts it down. It was a difficult chance. Never an easy thing to be a bowler who has a return catch coming back at you. And he would not have been thrilled that he put that down, but it was a difficult chance. Got to him at a catchable height, but it was traveling. It was hit very hard. And unfortunately for him, that was put down. Next delivery. Works its one into the leg side. They should just get one. Thought for a split second about coming back, but realistically not an option. Scoring rate now down to 7.29, a projection of 146. So the fielders are in the deep with the ones who are most likely to catch these balls hit in this direction. Stiff wind. I hope you can hear me. I can barely hear myself. Bihan Mehta is in front of us here at long off. Arun Tamala is at long on. A ball gets away from the keeper. That should be a bye. I believe it will be a bye. Let's see what's signaled here. Yep, there's a bye signaled by umpire Vivek Raj. I made the point earlier. If you're Arjun Mahesh, one of the better keepers in the country, if you give the gloves up to someone, then that someone should not put you in the position where you end up missing anything that Arjun Mahesh himself would have taken. Next delivery. Oh, works it down in the air. In fact, dribbling down to deep mid wicket for a single. Lost it for a second there. My apologies. So one ball remaining here in over number 8. Make that over number 9. 64 runs on the board. Again, very just windy and messy conditions. Goes big. That's out of there. That is over and out. That landed maybe 75 yards away. Again, helped by the wind. And Arya Kananta does not need help to play that shot. It sails away all the way for 6. 9 coming from the over. Good over, spoiled by that delivery. A little bit too straight and a little bit too full. And in the slot, he drills it over the top of long on for a 6. End of 9, the score is 70-1. So 9 overs up, time for a strategic timeout. We'll join you on the other side of 2 minutes and 30 seconds. the score is 70-1. Batters are going to be Arya Kananta, 33 from 23. Darshan Haribabu, 11 from 15. Captain and vice captain respectively. It is Darshan Haribabu who is on strike. Will be facing up to Hrithik Ramesh. 1 over bowled, 4 runs conceded, 9 wickets in hand. So with 66 balls remaining in the innings, you can expect that this pair will start being more adventurous. Played into the covers this time though. No run. And I say you can expect them to be adventurous, but all of this is with the stipulation that it is going to be very windy from the end toward which Darshan Haribabu will be hitting right now. So bear that in mind as you choose to see how aggressive he is going to be. This is played toward mid-wicket. They may get 2 here. Hit coming back for the second, throw coming into the bowler's end. And they're able to get there with much fuss, or without much fuss. So Darshan Haribabu trying to keep up with, or maybe not keep up with Arya Kananta, because Arya Kananta is now, not only does he have 33 runs, but he's scoring at more than, in fact, just almost double the strike rate of Darshan Haribabu. Striking it at 143, whereas Darshan Haribabu is striking it at 76. But just 64 balls remaining in the innings. And so they both may feel that they have a bit of a license. Outside off. Umpire Herman Geddes getting a good look at that one, but then deciding it was probably fine. And I'll switch in the field as short mid-wicket and short third trade places. And you're starting to think now in terms of where you might end up in terms of the over rates, or the run rate, sorry. Current run rate 7.45. If you're able to continue scoring at the rate of 7.45, you'll get to 149. It's played into the offside just for a single. A scoring rate of 8 and over gets you to 154, 9 and over gets you to 165, 10 and over gets you to 175. So that's sort of what the projections might look like. Now here is the last ball of over number 10. With Prithviraj, leg spinner. Now bowling to Arya Kananta, 33 from 23, 2 4s and 3 6s. Played into the mid-wicket area for no run. That's a good ball to close things out in over number 10. 3 runs coming from that over, so it's an excellent over by Hrithik Ramesh. Score after 10 is 73-1. Into the second half of the innings, it's going to be Ajay Prithviraj to continue. 3 overs so far, 1 for 27. Bowling to Arya Kananta. No, in fact, bowling to Darshan Haribabu. Advancing down the track, going straight as an arrow. Wind or no wind, that one was always going to be 4. It's well played, right down the ground, splitting mid on and or long on and long off perfectly. And my apologies, that is actually Arya Kanantha on strike. Straight down the ground, and he now moves into no. Okay, apologies once again. Now that the scorecard is caught up with us, it is Darshan Haribabu who's on strike. And he goes down the ground, 18 from 21 for him now. 2 4s. Second of 2 4s is what you just saw, struck right down the ground, straight as an arrow. And look at the remaining 59 deliveries, because again, the deeper you get into the remainder of the innings, then the more chances that the batters can take. And again, you can likely think that they will take more chances from this end. So anyone bowling from this end is going to have to be careful not to give them anything to drive. Dragging this one a little bit wider so it gets down to long on. He's able to field on a couple bounces. Arya Kanantha now on strike. 33 from 24. What does he do? He is more expressive than Darshan Haribabu and more likely to sort of force the issue. Very far outside off. That's going to be wide. Not a whole lot of extras. 6 extras total, one of which was a bye. But you do want to make sure you don't give away any extra runs or extra balls. Work down the ground, single. Tries to go big again, but this time only able to get it to go down the ground a couple of bounces, and it gets to the fielder who is down here. That is Mark Sagiababu. 2 balls remaining here in over number 11. Sky, this is catchable. Sagiababu right there and takes a simple catch. Takes the chest height. That is very well. And a good piece of work. That is the end of Arya Kanantha. I thought for a split second that he may be one who was going to take the bull by the horns.
Is that charged enough? Can I take this? Yeah, we need it for that.
Please, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. Let me know if you need it.
No, I'm good. So that's the end of Arya Kanantha. Wanting to be expressive, as I mentioned, looking to dance down the track and getting that one essentially off the top edge. Stayed in the air for a very long time. Mark Sagiababu judged it beautifully and took it chest height, and maybe a little higher than that, maybe let's say chin height, palms upwardly facing, just like the coaches like to see you take that ball up or take that catch up high. That way if you miss it, if you drop it, you give yourself a second chance to catch it before it hits the ground. But no such chance needed for Mark Sagiababu as he takes a pretty straightforward catch. And that is the end of the captain. And now 1 ball remaining here in over number 11. And your new batter is going to be Shari Agar. Shari Agar facing up to the last ball, now bowled by Ajay Prithviraj, who has bowled really well. All of his overs have come from this end, the end, forest end, where the batters have been helped by the wind. Played off the back foot to backward point. That's a dot to close out a really, really good over. And a really good spell by Ajay Prithviraj. 4 overs, no maidens, 2 for 35, economy rate of just under 9. And you will take that from the spinner who has been asked to bowl in the difficult areas. And I think that you'll see that that has gone a long way toward helping things solidify. So that's the end of over number 11. The score is 81 for 2. Into over number 13 now. This is going to be Ravik Ramesh continuing. New partnership. Shaurya Gaur and Darshan Haribabu are now going to have to rebuild and make things happen a little bit differently. And it's down the ground. It's going to run away for 4. But swept around the corner. And a long run by the fielder, Ajay, running around from backward square but not able to get to it. So welcome boundary to Darshan Haribabu. Now moves to 24 from 25. And a lot rests on his shoulders now as he's going to have to grab the bull by the horns and continue what he and Arya Kanantha started. Fielder deep backward square. Curious position for a spinner to have, especially when you're trying to make him play down the ground. Tossed up, driven down to long on for or long off for a single. So a long way to go here. You enter the 12th over. Score is 86. 3 balls remaining here in over number 12. This current score projects to a total score of 150. And it will be interesting to see. Still have 8 wickets in hand despite the fact that they've lost their 2 openers. So the numbers 3 and 4 you would think are competent enough to be able to shepherd them toward a decent total. Played into the offside for a single. So now you're down to the last 50 balls remaining in this innings. Oh, this wind absolutely has picked up. And one wonders whether or not it has an outsized effect on the proceedings in this game. Ravik Ramesh down the ground, mid-on, can't get to it. It may come back for a second, no. Thought about it, but decided against it. Discretion being the better part of valor there. And so 1 ball now remaining in the 12th over. Katy Raiders again put into bat by the TCC Kings. Played into the offside here. No run. That is the end of over number 12. 7 runs coming from it. 31 coming from the last 5. And at the end of over number 12, the score is 88 for 2.
staying out of trouble, huh? As always.
For the most part.
So Eddie 8 for 2 after 12. Last 8's coming up. A change in bowling from the Forest End. This is going to be Mark Sagiababu, who is switching ends and bowling, running into the wind. Interesting. No bowler really likes running into the wind to bowl, but certainly not a fast bowler. Sprinting from that far, running into the wind generally tends to take a lot out of you. And his first over, Sagiababu, cost 15, so he'll want to improve on that. This is driven down the ground. Behind Meta in the position to make sure that that one's just a single. Sagiababu back into the attack again. Open the bowling. Or should I say share the opening ball with Aryan Tamala. Driven down the ground again. Once again, it's going to be Rehan Mehta, who's in the position to just keep that to a single. Very, very interesting passage of play here, because you get the sense that a couple of wickets either here or there can make a big difference. But if this player is able to build a partnership and then launch, and that's pulled massively but right to the man in the deep. Get a good sound coming off the bat, but it's still just a very loud, long single. And you've set the field and you're bowling to that field, so well done to you, Mark Sagiababu. Here he is again. Slow, full delivery. A loud appeal. I believe that was the sound of bats hitting ground. But importantly, in the context of things, it's a dot. So last 2 balls now here in over number 13. Here's the last ball. Worked into the leg side. Should just get 1. That's all they'll get. So a successful reintroduction to into the overs for Mark Sagiababu. So down to the last 7 overs now. Scoring rate is exactly 7.08. 7.08 would seem to suggest projection would be 142. I don't know that that's very healthy. Ritvik Ramesh, 1 over left, 3 overs, none for 14. And he's done well. Overall run rate 7.08. So if your 3 overs have cost you only 14, you're going at less than 5 and over. 4.75 by my quick mental math. And Darshan Haribabu 28 from 29 to 3-4. Sharigar 3 from 7. It's going to be up to them. Oh, he knocked him over. Walked right across, looking to work it behind square. Nobody in the deep. at fine leg, and he wanted to be able to access that area of the field, but essentially exposed all his stumps, and Hrithik Ramesh hit the leg stump. So that is the third wicket to fall. Partnership worth some 11 runs, not a very big one. And at the end of over number, in fact I said the end, it's not close to the end of the over, my apologies. That first delivery, a wicket falls. And the first delivery for over number 14 is where Hrithik Ramesh finds success. So, short break while we'll change the new batter. Score is 92 for 3 after 13.1. Tall figure of Sachin Selvakumar takes strike after the fall of that wicket. Ball played into the offside for no runs. A good start to his last over by Hrithik Ramesh. 3.1 overs, none for no maidens, 1 for 14. And that one is what you just saw happen with the first ball of this past over, of this current over. Played into the offside again. 3 straight dots to start over number 14. Darshan Haribabu 28 from 29 with 3 boundaries. Sachin Selvakumar now on strike. Works it off the back foot. It's going to be going toward the boundary at deep extra cover. And they'll pull it back before it gets across the carpet. So, good work. Sachin Selvakumar off the mark. 2 balls remaining. Next delivery. Sachin choosing to just defend that one in front of the stumps for no run. So 1 ball remaining in the spell of Hrithik Ramesh. Here's that 1 ball. Worked into the leg side. They may be able to get 2 here. Nope. Good work off the boundary to limit things to 1 run. Successful over that time. Good one by Hrithik Ramesh. 3, make that 4 overs, no maidens, none for 18. You will take 4.5 runs and over from your spinner any day. And that's the end of the over. The score is 95 for 3. $95 for 3 is the score after 14. So we're down to the last 6. Aaron Tamala back into the attack. Interesting. So easily your best bowler so far, Aryan Tamala. And it'll be interesting to see how they attack him, if they choose to attack him. Let's deliver it slower through the air. Worked it down to deep mid-wicket. 2.2 overs. None for 9. Make that none for 10 for Aryan Tamala. Really economical bowling. And let's see to what extent he's able to continue. In the air, inside out. And it goes for 4. Wihan Mehta in the area, not quite able to get over. And that was actually a very good strike by Darshan Haribabu. 28 from 29 now, with 3 4s before that. And so with that strike, it brings up the 100. The score is now 100 for 3 with 3 balls to go in the 15th. Here's the next delivery. Down the ground, Wihan Mehta. This is just going to be a single. So, here's the next ball. In the air, is this going to be catchable? Wihan Mehta, oh, what a grab. What an absolutely brilliant catch. Making some 20 or so yards to his right. And reaching out, didn't necessarily need to dive, but it was not an easy catch. Made that 20 yards to his right and took it around waist height. And a really, really good smart catch there to dismiss Sachin Selvakumar. 101 for 4 is now the score, because that brilliant catch that you just saw has resulted in the fall of the wicket of Sachin Selvakumar. And Wihan Mehta, I think, is pretty proud of that one, and he'll be going back to listen to the YouTube feed later on just to hear the description of that catch. Really good catch, absolutely good catch. Darshan Haribabu still at the wicket, 33 from 31 with 4 4s, and he's now going to be joined by Aaron Nadkarni, who has 1 ball to face in this over from Aryan Tamala. Here's the delivery. Tossed up, driven back to the bowler. Thought he would have been able to stop that, Aryan Tamala, but ended up not being able to. They get a single down the ground. That's the end of a good over for Aryan Tamala. Concedes 7 runs, but takes a wicket. At the end of over number 15, last 5 coming up, 102 for 4. Hrithik Ramesh continue. No, in fact, no. Hrithik Ramesh is done. So this is going to be a different bowler, changing bowling from the highway end. First delivery. Srihan Chala is the bowler. First delivery played into the offside, no run. Next delivery tossed up, played to long off for a single. Tossed up, drilled down to deep extra cover for a single. So 8 4s and 4 6s have been struck in the innings so far. So 53.85% of the runs have been scored in 4s and 6s as this is played into the covers for no run. But interestingly, 42 dot balls, so 45% of all the balls that have been bowled so far have been dots. Looking to reach for this one, not able to make contact. Next delivery, pushes it through quicker this time. They run a single. They'll get there. Looking to make sure that he close things out here in his first over, Srihan Chala. Looks like he's bowling leg spin, Srihan Chala. Well, let's see how well he does the rest of the way. It's taking a bit of time to get going here. In fact, is that the end of the over? It is the end of the over, my apologies. At the end of 16, the score is 106 for 4. Skies this one, the first delivery in the 17th over. It's going to be bowled again by Aryan Tamala, who's continuing a really brilliant spell. For me, the best of the bowlers so far. Single from the very first ball of his last over. .1 overs, 1 for 17. Brilliant bowling by Aryan Tamala. Down the ground, catchable. Does Wilhelm make it? Take another one. Nope, missed it. And almost hit me. Just thought that was catchable there for a minute. And unfortunately, not only did it miss the outstretched hand of Wilhelm Mehta, almost took out the commentary area, the commentary equipment, and a bunch of equipment here. Big picture, it does go for 6 though, so that is a big strike down the ground, and it makes a big difference as to where you are in this game because those runs all count. And that's going to be now looking for another one. Nope, doesn't quite make the contact that he wanted to here. Six down the ground. It's always going to be possible hitting with the wind. So we'll see how well he's able to do to control that type of delivery. Moving right across and sweeping it around the corner. Should just be one. Nope, they come back for a second. And in fact, there's a signal from the umpire that actually was a wide. So it's 3 wides to the total. With still 3 balls remaining here in over number 17. Quicker. Almost got through in there. So well bowled delivery coming back well here. And let's see to the extent that he can replay or continue that type of a delivery. This is swept down to long on. Just a single. So just 2 balls remaining in his spell. Make that one. Yeah, 2 balls remaining in his spell now for Aryan Tamala. That despite that 6, still bowled a really good spell. Slower through the air, in the air. Catchable, no, but there. Prevent us from going. No, he does prevent from going over the rope. That's good work. They'll run and come back for 3. I believe they ran 3. Just need to double check that as soon as we can. And let's see. That is the last ball of the over. In fact, they only ran 2. So make that correction. 2 runs coming from the last ball of over number 17. 14 coming from the over, an expensive one, the most expensive one bowled by Aryan Tamala, but still bowled really well and essentially bowled the difficult overs, bowling at the depth and bowling inside the power play, both from the end where if you hit down the ground it will be helped by the wind. So under those conditions, that's a really brilliant spell. End of the over, 120 for 4 with 3 to go. First ball of over number 18 is hammered. A low full toss by Shriyan Chala gets put away by Darshan Haribabu for 4 to mid-wicket. Haribabu now up to 47 from 38 with 5 4s and a 6. A lot of full tosses have been bowled today, and generally speaking, full tosses can be tricky to keep inside the park. If you're going to bowl those, they need to be low full tosses. That full toss is about knee height, easily put away. Another full toss, that's much lower. Not that you try to bowl a full toss, but if you do bowl a full toss, that's about where you want it to be, down by the ankles. Full toss at knee height, thigh height is a delivery that's more easily scored off of. And then of course a full toss above waist height is a no ball. So have to be careful when you're bowling those full tosses. Ultimately, I think you just want that ball to pitch. Down the ground again, another single. So he's trying to make him drive. I don't mind that from this end, but if you do that, can't be a full toss again. That's around knee height. The last 2 have been more along the length that he's looking to bowl. This one, it pushes through. It's down the ground. And they'll get to an expensive, relatively expensive over on the way. 8 from the over so far with 2 to come. 18th over, you're looking to have a lot of things happen. Look at where you are now, is 128 for 4. Your scoring rate has slowed down a little bit, 7.25. In the air, nobody back here at deep backward square leg, and it goes away for 4. And again, a relatively expensive over, keeps getting more expensive as Darshan Haribabu, who is now up to 50. By the way, we didn't acknowledge his 50 when it came up. That happened with the stroke of the 2 before that, but now adds 2 to that, or makes adds a 4 to that mix. And now 12 from the over so far with 1 ball remaining, and the 12 make that 13 balls left in the innings. Looking to see how far they can push Darshan Haribabu. 54 now from 41, 6 4s and a 6. Last ball to him, pushing it through, worked into the mid-wicket area, should be able to get 2 here. Fumbled by the fielder in the deep, coming in from long on, and now they get 2 in a canter. So 14 coming from the over, a good productive one for the Katy Raiders, and the score after 18 is 134 for 4. Over number 19 about to start, and it's going to be bowled by Mark Sagiababu. Bowling 2. Aaron Nadkarni, 7 from 8. Big swipe and a miss. You know what the big strapping young man Aaron Nadkarni is trying to do, trying to go big down the ground. He'd probably be trying to do that in any event, but with the wind at his back, he's looking to elevate that ball down the ground, and it's going to be up to Sagiababu to make sure that that ball doesn't get to be driving length. Oh, that was driving length, and he hit that easily, the biggest 6 of the day. That actually landed inside the ropes of the adjoining field, which means that is every bit of a 100-yard hit. That is a huge, huge drive. When you're bowling to that man from this end, the last thing that you want is for it to be driving length. And he got into it, absolutely crunched it over long on, and goes all the way for 6. Exactly what you wanted from that standpoint. If you are Aaron Nadkarni, you got exactly what you were looking for. A ball in the slot to drive. You are much better off from here bowling, especially as a pace bowler, bowling short of length. You want him to be playing you square of the wicket, if anything. Or if you're going to bowl full, it has to be all the way up in the block hole. You cannot leave it on the length that where it just was. That length is okay, but the line was a little wide. It squirted out into the offside, and they'll get a couple. That's going to be Captain Arjun Mahesh, I believe, down there on the boundary. Last 9 deliveries now in the over, or in the innings. I think he was aiming for a wide Yorker. Wide Yorker is not a bad option, but if you do that, you'll need either deep third or deep backward point in position. Next delivery. That's a better length. Oh my goodness, it is crunched for 6 more. Okay, maybe not quite a better length. He was trying to bowl a short ball. That ball was only bouncing about waist height. And so Aaron Nadkarni saw it in time and absolutely crunched it again. So from that distance, that was hammered. And again, if you have the pace to bowl short, it has to be a short ball that is up around the face of the batter. A short ball that only bounces waist height is essentially a hit me ball, and that's exactly what Sagiababu just bowled to Aaron Nadkarni. So 14 from the over already with 2 balls remaining, 148 runs on the board. So they've come back really well from an indifferent middle of the innings. Get that Yorker right up there. That's where he needs to bowl. And it's going to be down the ground for a single. Wanted to come back for a second, but no real chance of that happening. When all else fails in situations like this, have it be a Yorker right in the block hole. Those are the most difficult ones to put away. And so 1 ball remaining, 15 already from the over. So an expensive one from Mark Sagiababu, but he's looking to close out well here. In the air for 6 more. Oh, they're taking him apart in this over. 6 down the ground to close out a 21-run over, about the biggest over that you've seen so far. In fact, definitely the biggest over that you've seen so far in this match and probably this entire weekend. 19 overs up after that 21 run over, and it is 155 for 4. Last over. Skied. Backward point 4. So a bevy of runs have scored in the last few deliveries. 21 runs coming from over number 19. 14 coming from over number 18. 14 from over number 17. So between the last three, 28 and 49 plus 49 runs, and then a 53 in the last 3 overs and 1 ball. So very, very expensive close to the innings here. So Patti is the one who is bowling now from the highway end. Smashed, almost took out his partner, but it's going to be 4. Yes, it is going to be 4 more. Aaron Nadkarni is making mincemeat of the back end of this innings. He's now up to 20, make that 30 from 15 with 1 4 and 2 6s. Starts out here with consecutive 4s. And boy, it feels like the bowlers are not exactly sure where to bowl. I don't know necessarily that they're bowling to a plan. It just becomes a matter of, as I said earlier, if nothing else fails, just run up there and bowl a Yorker, something right in the block hole. Those are the most difficult to score off of. Like that, sliced in the air. It will get away with it though, and it's running away down the hill. It will get there for 4 more. So 3 consecutive 4s to start the over number 20. And I mentioned a Yorker length. That length was good, but what did him there was the line. The line was too far outside off stump. Allowed the big fast bowler to free his arms and slice that one away over the top. So consecutive boundaries, 3 balls remaining here in over number 20. 65 runs have scored in the last 5 with 3 to come. So this could end up being the biggest 5-over burst of the entire tournament. In the air, this will land safely, I believe. Lands in front of long on, coming back for the second. I said long on, I meant long off, my apologies. So 16, make that 14 from the over so far with 2 to come. And this is a really impressive charge at the back end of this innings by Aaron Nadkarni and the Katy Raiders. 36 from 17 for Aaron Nadkarni. 17 balls only faced, but of those 17, he's put away 3 of them for 5 and 2 more for 6. Last 2 deliveries. In the air, where does this go? Catchable. And it lands in front of the fielder at long off. Oh, it was in the air for a while. You thought that he may have had a chance to come in and take that. Chose not to. And so another 2 runs, 16 from over number 20 with 1 more to come. And so it has gotten very, very expensive. It could end with 70 or more in the last 5, depending on what happens here. Down the ground, should come back for the second. He fumbles it, and they'll get 2. So closing things out with a flurry. Aaron Nadkarni, really brilliant batting towards the back end. 18 runs coming from that over. The last 5 overs have yielded 71 runs. So a really positive close to the innings here by the Katy Raiders, who really were looking down and out for a while, but they've done well to close out with a bang. Aaron Nadkarni ends up with 40, believe it or not, off 19 with 3 4s and 2 6s. Looking at the full scorecard, Sohan Matam 20, Arya Kanantha 34, Darshan Haribabu 62. And a couple of single-digit scores, Shara Gara and Sachin Selvakumar. But then Aaron Nadkarni flourishing towards the end, 40 from 19, 3 4s and 2 6s. The bowlers I thought were decent. The best for me, all things considered, was Aryan Tamala, 4 overs, 1 for 30. But Ajay Prithviraj took 2 wickets. He'll be happy with that. Sagya Babu was expensive. So was Suvir Gudipati. And then Srihan Chala bowling 2 overs that cost 18. So pretty difficult end to the innings for the bowlers. And that means that after about a 10-minute break, the TCC Kings will be coming back to see whether or not they can overhaul a target of 174. Find out when we find out in about 10 minutes. Welcome back to the Prairie View Cricket Complex for the closing of this match. The TCC Kings are in a bit of trouble because Katy Raiders ran away from them 71 runs in the last 5 overs of their innings to end up at 173 for 4. And it's now the TCC Kings who need to overhaul a target of 174. They'll start with Vihan Mehta and Moksh Gupta. And the opening bowler for the Katy Raiders is going to be Farhan Handa, the left arm pace bowler. Everyone is in place and ready to go. Here's the first delivery. It's no run, defended to mid-off rather, that is Sachin Selvakumar. So absolutely brilliant brilliant batting the back end of this innings that just ended. Katy Raiders again had an indifferent time with the bat with the game this morning that they lost big, a result that saw them fall to the bottom of the standings. But they've come back really strongly here. And bang on target, first 2 deliveries to Moksh Gupta. In fact, no, that is Vihan Mehta who's on strike. So the first 2 deliveries to him are defended well. Good bowling too. Left arm over the wicket, slanting that ball in. And I think you've seen some evidence of in-swing. Watchfully played that time though by Vihan Mehta. Here's the 3rd delivery of the innings. Oh, right back past the bowler. Looks like he was winding up for a big hit. Not able to make contact with it, but could not get away far enough to get a single there. So 3 dot balls, making that pressure build. Starting the innings with a required rate of 8.7. Required rates, as I've talked about this entire weekend, it can shoot upward if you're chasing a big total. It can shoot upward with a few dot balls strung together. Driving this one wide of Sachin Selvakumar. Does well to dive to his left. They'll get a single, but I think he saved 3 runs there. That would have run away from him for 4. And so that little bit of effort can make all the difference in the world. It fires up your teammates, especially the bowler, and it takes away the psychological advantage that the batter would have had of scoring a single or a boundary. So we'll see what happens here. 2 balls remaining in over number 1 with a very long way to go. 1 run on the scoreboard, another 173 needing to score at the rate of 8.95 and over. And let's see exactly what the situation is from here. First delivery, that's the first delivery ball to Moksh Gupta. It's a dot, so 1 remaining. It's not updated. 1 remaining in over number 1. It's a brilliant over underway here. Farhan Handa, the left arm pace bowler, doing really well so far. And let's see what happens on this very last delivery. Oh, good ball going past the outside edge, and awkward fending at that one was Vihan Mehta not able to get anything on it. A very good first over. Just 1 run, make that 2 runs coming from it, I believe. No, just 1 run coming from it. And that is the end of 1. The score is 1 without loss. loss, and the imposing figure of Aaron Nadkarni, who is more known for his exploits with the ball in hand, but lit the stadium alight in the back end of the innings to score some 40 runs with a handful of 4s and 6s. Now he's going to do what he does best, bowling from the highway end. Good bounce, bouncing past the outer edge of Wihan Mehta's bat. And so another dot ball, and they're starting off in a relatively sedate fashion here for your TCC. You'll need to get to the point where you are putting bat to ball. It's not an overpowering total in the sense that it's not 250, but you do need to have the scoreboard ticking over. And that's cut to backward point, no run. Oh my goodness, oh, he would have been gone by half the length of the pitch if that throw was more accurate. They wanted to pinch a single there. I think that's pressure, or that's evidence of pressure building, because they know that they're chasing a total that if you fall behind, it's difficult to make up. You know that you saw you saw the Katy Raiders in a similar situation this morning. And from here, with 173 runs still needed, you are 8 deliveries into the innings and only 1 run has scored. So you're going to need something to happen. Big swipe and a miss. Yet another delivery that goes by, not scored off of. So 9 deliveries into the innings and you've not yet scored. When you started, the scoring rate required was 8.7. The current scoring rate is less than a run. There's only 1 run and you've scored and you faced 9 balls. So that asking rate is now up to 9.35, and it's amazing how that rate can move with a handful of dot balls. Here's Nadkarni again, looking for the swipe and a miss, not there. Wants to get bat on ball and he's not making any contact with Mehta. Now he scored the only run that's been scored so far. 1 run to his name. 7 runs. 7 balls face is what I'm trying to say. The wind is not helping at all. And as of right now, with 2 balls remaining here in over number 2, the score is still only 1 without loss. Just wanting to take a little bit of time to get settled here with Mehta. Here's the 5th ball of the over. Down the leg side, could have gotten away with that, could have gotten runs if any bat had been on that. But it bounces off of the thigh pad and just settles next to the batter for yet another dot ball. So 5 on the trot, a great over being bowled here by Aaron Nadkarni. Easily the best over he's bowled this weekend, I would think. It's the only over I can remember him bowling where there have been no extras, and they've not yet been able to lay a bat on his deliveries. Here's the last ball coming up now, over number 2. This is worked into the mid-wicket area. They'll get 1. What a brilliant over. 2 overs bowled, 2 runs scored total. 1 run per over is not going to be anything near what they need to win this game. TCC Kings, end of 2, scores 2 without loss. First ball of over number 3. Thankfully for the TCC Kings, has been put away for 4 to the offside. Wihameta is going to be sort of eager to get things going here because they're falling behind. Required rate has jumped almost by an entire run since the start of this game, and this one is short outside off stump, and it cashed in for a boundary through the point area. So that does a little bit to maybe release some of the tension. We'll see whether or not they can carry on with some momentum built from that shot. So let's see how he does for this next delivery. Maybe trying to overhit that one. Could have gone through the offside again. Ends up dragging it back to the bowler for no run. Next delivery. Oh, goes onto the back foot and helps himself to some runs. Did that go all the way? Nope, landed just short before it got over the rope. But a positive start to the over now. 4 and then a dot, then another 4. Wihameta, I think, understands that this is the moment in this game where you need to make something happen. Can't keep falling behind. A handful of runs here will keep you in the game. Anything that results in you being tied down will make that scoreboard pressure really become the most prominent factor in this game. And now it's going to be up to him to continue doing that. That one wasn't quite there for the drive. Wanted to go downtown, coming in this direction again with the wind. That would have been one shot that would have been on his mind. But the ball wasn't quite there for the drive, and he missed out on that attempt to drive back down the ground. It's a Varun hander with a good length. That is exactly the length that you want to bowl to keep the ball out of the hitting zone of the batter. Here is again, skied in the air. Who's going to take it? The bowler wants it himself. Oh my goodness, he never even comes close. Interestingly, it stayed in the air for a very long time. I've mentioned how much the wind is blowing. That wind carried the ball back past the bowler, so much so that he literally did not touch it on the way down. So we can chalk that one up to the wind, definitely. I don't know that he certainly didn't judge it well, but I don't think he realized how much the wind was making it move. So Wihameta can consider himself lucky there. He lives to fight another day. And drops this one into the offside. Quick single. A direct hit might have been interesting, but they managed to sneak home. So a productive over continues. 9 from the over so far, and 1 ball remaining. Nope, sorry, that is the end of the over. So they get a few runs here, 11 total, and after 3 they have a long way to go, a really long way to go, but another 163 runs needed in the next 102 balls at required rate 9.59. But they do have 10 wickets in hand, so let's see exactly how they can go along from here. Aaron Garner with the ball in hand again. Scores 11 without loss. Carney starting off. This one is dropped into the leg side for a single. So you're going to have a hard time catching up in this game if all you're able to score is singles. A couple of boundaries in that last over by Wihameta, so that certainly would have helped. But you're at the point now where you're going to need to start taking the bull by the horns. 11 from 16 for Wihameta. Moksh Gupta still not off the mark. And with Aaron Carney running in with the wind behind him, We'll see what difference that makes here. Short cutaway down to deep third for a single. So a couple of singles to start over number 4. 13 runs on the board. At the end of the last over, their score was 11. At the end of the third over, when the Katy Raiders batted, their score was 24. So you're very far behind the pace right now of the Katy Raiders or the TCC Kings. And here's Aaron Nat Carney again. Sliced away for 4. Okay, gave him the width that time. That's what was wrong with that delivery. And anytime you offer that type of width to a batter where he can free his arms, that definitely presents a scoring opportunity. Fielder at deep backward point, really let's call it short third. And if I'm not mistaken, I saw a no ball signal and a free hit. Yep, no ball signal by umpire Herman Geddes. Rest in peace, Herman Kane. Herman Geddes. So a 4 conceded by Aaron Nat Carney, and now he gets the ball a free hit delivery. Here's a free hit. Hammered pass mid-off for 4. So good flourish here for Wihan Mehta. So the 4 that was also simultaneously adjudged to be a no ball, and then the subsequent free hit was also put away for 4. So 11 runs coming from the over already. 3 legal deliveries have been bowled, and so a good little fight back here on the way by Wihan Mehta. Aaron Nat Carney's first over just went for 1 run, but he's been a lot more expensive here. Okay, waiting to see the scoreboard get caught up. I do know that there was a no ball signal, but it does not show it on the scoreboard. So I'm assuming that they did not get the signal from the umpire. Couple of changes because there's 3 legal deliveries that have been bowled. 4 deliveries total were bowled, but 1 was a no ball. We're waiting to see here. And the scores, I think, are off because they missed the no ball. Because the scoreboard does not show anything about the no ball. But there was certainly a signal made by umpire Herman Geddes. And I know that that's what they're trying to confirm now. In fact, Wihan Mehta is the one who is now going out to make sure that the scorers know exactly what happened. Just a bit of a delay while we get that sorted out. Now in real time the scores are going back and updating the scorecard, so I would assume as you see those numbers change at the bottom of your screen, eventually they should land on 22 after the 3rd ball, make that the 4th ball. There it is, now that's accurate. So dot ball here by Aaron Nat Carney. After 4 balls, 11 runs have scored from this over, the most expensive over of the innings so far. Of course, there's not much competition for that. Over 1 and 2 both went for 1 run. Over 3 went for 9 runs, and now this over on the way, 11 runs already with 2 balls to come. Played into the offside or into the leg side, they'll get a single. in over number 4. Aaron Nadkarni, 1.5 overs, none for 13. Brian Handa, 2 overs, none for 10. Another 151 needed for victory in 97 balls. Very full, played into the onside. No opportunity for a run, so a good close out to the over. After a rough start, Aaron Nadkarni comes back and bowls 2 of 3 dot balls, and the other one that was not a dot was only conceding a single. So that's the end of over number 4, 23 without loss. 23 without loss, 4 overs bowled, 2 each by Vardan Handa and Aaron Nadkarni. Now a change in bowling. This is going to be Darshan Haribabu bowling from the forest end. He's going to be bowling to Vihan Mehta, 21 from 21 with 4 fours. Full, driven away for 4 through extra cover, piercing the gap between cover, make that extra cover and mid-off, and it races away for yet another 4. So 5 boundaries now struck by Vihan Mehta. 21, make that 25 from 22 with 5 fours. Interestingly, 25 or 20 of his 25 runs have been boundaries, so he's scoring 80% of his runs in boundaries. That does not hurt at all. It's a good start to the over. Hammered in the same direction, but this time on the ground and fielded in the covers. Looking at another 94 runs, 94 balls total, another 147 runs needed. They've made some progress in the direction of getting to that target in the last few overs. At least there are signs of life in the chase, but they're still a very far distance away from being able to get there. That's a single, and that single takes Moksh Gupta back on strike, 1 from 4, and he works this into the leg side. They go for a quick single. He'll get there. Asking rate now 9.46. You're a long way away from getting anything regarding pressure, but you just want to keep scoring. Played back to Darshan Haribabu himself. No run. 6 from over number 5. Bearing in mind you're still inside the power play. Only another 7 deliveries left inside the power play. Tossed up, coming toward us here in this area. It's going to run away for 4. Yet another fielding opportunity for me. Yeah. So 4 runs to close things out in over number 5. I've fielded more balls in the last a couple days than I have in the last several years. And that's a solid strike down the ground. Vihan Mehta cashing in again. And that is the end of the over. 33 without loss after 5. So 5 overs up, 33 runs on the board. So they started out relatively slowly, TCC Kings, but they've made up for it to some extent in the last few overs. The first 2 overs went for 2 runs. The next 3 have gone for 31. So scoring at the rate of 10.3 for the last 3. And now change in bowling coming from the highway end. This is going to be Aditya Ayapan, who's replacing Aaron Nadkarni. Starts out here with a leg by off of the pad of the batter. That was Moksh Gupta. Not yet joined the hitting party. 2 from 5 for him. Vihan Mehta 30 from 26 with 6 fours. This is Vihan Mehta on strike. Plays it right back to the batter. To the bowler for no run. And he has been looking assuredly for the last few overs, Vihan Mehta, but probably a lot rides on his shoulders because he's going to have to bat deep. One person needs to stay and bat deep, and the others need to play around him, looking to work this away up the hip. Half-hearted appeal for LBW. I don't think there's any chance that umpire Herman Geddes would have given that one, and in fact, the only signal that you see him give is a signal to his partner, Vivek Raj, that there are 3 balls bowled in the over. So that indicates that that came off the bat. 3 balls left in the over, and therefore 3 balls left in the power play. This again is Moksh Gupta on strike, 3 from 6. And here is Aditya Ayapan again. Oh, struck on the pad again. This should be another leg by. Throw coming into the keeper's end. To the non-striker's end. Nope, no signal from umpire Geddes. So probably again another run. Not probably, definitely another run. But has to be said, this is a much more economical over being bowled by Aditya Ayapan. 3 runs coming from it with 2 balls to go. Skied over the head of Aaron Nadkarni, running back from mid-on. And they'll get a couple. Throw coming, a long throw to the keeper's end. That is a really strong throwing arm being displayed that time by Aaron Nadkarni. So the last ball coming up, score of 38. Last ball coming up here in the power play. And my apologies, there's 2 balls left inside the power play. So this would be the 5th ball of over number 6. Played into the offside, no run. Nope, I was right, the scoreboard is wrong. So that is a dot that ends over number 6. Power play is done. The score is 38 without loss. Without loss, 6 overs bowled. This is going to be a change in bowling coming from the forest end. It's going to be Shari Agar. Big picture, another 136 runs needed in the next 84 balls. So that asking rate is now up to 9.71. Not scoring at a bad rate, 6.33, but with 10 wickets in hand, you do need to start accelerating. And now, bearing in mind you're outside of the power play, still a relatively aggressive field given that fact, especially from this end. Oh, we're in Mehta looking to hit, in fact that was Moksh Gupta looking to attack, still not able to get anything going with the bat, still only just 3 from 8. Moksh Gupta, and let's see to what extent he can make something happen here, because there's no way Wihan Mehta can do it by himself. He's going to need help. Swipe and a miss. Wihan Mehta at the non-striker's end, pleading with umpire Vivek Raj for a wide, but not going to get it. And this is outside of the power play, so I'm actually surprised that mid-on and mid-off are still inside the circle. And in fact, here, just as soon as I say that, you see mid-on dropping back to long on. That's Aaron Nadkarni. Mid-off, Sachin Selvakumar is still inside the circle. So it's a combination of an attacking and a defensive field. Played into the offside. That's Sohan Matam doing enough to keep that from getting through. 3 dots to start over number 7. So that pressure is starting to build because the asking rate is now up over 10. 10.07. Scoring rate is 5.85. So anytime you have a scoring rate that's about half of the asking rate, that's when you know that you're in trouble. Single. Quick pickup and a throw by Sachin Selvakumar, and you'll get a couple extra, maybe 1 extra. He had a chance to shy at the stumps at the non-striker's end. My sense is that he may have just found Moksh Gupta short, but he ended up missing, and then no one backing up, and that provided the opportunity to get a second run. Here's Sharagar again. Down the leg side, but there's protection down there, man, at deep, fine leg. And 1 ball remaining now in over number 7. You're starting to run out of time. It may just be a little early to say that, but it feels like you're running out of time because the asking rate now up over 10, 10 wickets in hand. Bearing in mind, with a stiff wind blowing, you're going to be sort of, if not explicitly restricted from hitting in the air, then the suggestion is going to be that you have a better chance of scoring if you're hitting with the wind. And so you're hitting with the wind here in this over, but there's just 1 ball remaining. And this goes through the keeper, and it's going to go for 5 byes, I believe. Signal, there is a signal from umpire Vivek Raj. 5 byes, make that 4 byes, I'm sorry. Bonus runs provided to the TCC Kings by the Katy Raiders. So that's a nice gift-wrapped present. 7 runs coming from the over. Would have just been 3 had the keeper stopped that one. Interestingly, looking at that delivery, that ball went through the keeper and did not miss the stumps. Did not miss the helmet behind the keeper by much. So had that happened, he would have gotten 5 penalty runs, which would have been interesting. As it is, they get 7 from this over. End of 7, the score is 45 without loss. 45 without loss, make that 46 without loss, starting the 8th over with a single. His over being bowled by Aditya Yapan into his second over. Conceded 4 runs total, including the single from that first ball. Bowling to Moksh Gupta, still only 6 from 13. In the air, over the top of mid-off. And it appears as though, yep, they just got a single there, but scoring is going to be more and more difficult from here because Wihan Mehta is on strike. 30. Oh, in fact, they did not even take a single there, did they? My score says 46. The scoreboard says 46 for 2. Yep, okay, the first delivery was just a dot. Okay, my apologies. Dot on the first ball, single on the second, and now let's see exactly what they're able to manufacture here. This is in the air and catchable. Should be taken easily, and he does take it. That's a good looking catch at mid-off. Swirling again, anything in the air is going to be an adventure, but mid-off does well enough to take that one, and so that is the end of Wihan Mehta. He tried for the time that he was out there, got a decent strike rate going up over 100, but ends up holding out here in the deep. Well, maybe not in the deep. It was inside the circle. And as it is, he's been dismissed for 33 from 32 balls faced at the 6 boundaries. And Moksh Gupta, 7 from 14 at the non-strikers end. May well consider this the time for him to get going. This, in the meantime, is going to be Arjun Mahesh, I believe. Let's see exactly how he can help grab the bull by the horns here, because it is the moment in this game where something needs to happen. And yes, that is the captain, Arjun Mahesh, who is now at the wicket. So the first wicket falls on 46. Arjun Mahesh knows that he is in a situation where his team needs him to score big. And he's done well so far in this tournament. We'll go through what his figures look like so far. Arjun Mahesh, 47 runs against the Texas Skywalkers yesterday. And so he certainly is someone who can score. And in fact, the day before that, well, so the same day, but earlier, he batted through the innings and ended up with 98 against the Texas Legends. 98 from 57, 11 fours and 4 sixes. So that gives you a sense of how well he can bat. And amid all of that, we're just realizing that they're in the middle of a strategic timeout. So missed that when they announced it live. The strategic timeout is probably all finished at this point. So we'll see exactly how we do from here. In fact, let's just take the next few minutes and allow them to take that strategic timeout. So we'll be back when the players are back. Arjun Mahesh takes a strike. At the fall of the first wicket, lost his vice captain. It's now going to be up to him to take charge. Runs this down to deep third for a single, immediately off the mark. So Arjun Mahesh, looking at the overall stats, third most runs in the tournament so far. Rishi Ramesh is at the top of that heap with the Texas Legends. High score of 99, agonizing there. Darshan Haribabu, number 2 for the Katy Raiders, and Arjun Mahesh, number 3. 149 runs in the tournament so far. High score of 98, 17 fours, 5 sixes. Healthy average because he got to 98 without being dismissed, so that always helps you average. So dot ball here though, so he's going to be needing to put bat to ball, and I think he knows that. So this is going to be Moksh Gupta on strike. 1 ball now remaining. That didn't go where he was looking for it, and in fact completely missing out on that attempted swipe. That is a dot ball to close things out. So a brilliant over. 2 runs coming in that over, and the fall of a wicket. So at the end of 8, the score is 47 for 1. Shariagar to continue. 1 over, only conceded 3 runs. He's bowling to the captain, Arjun Mahesh, who knows that he needs runs and he needs them quickly, and he's batting from the end of the field. That would help facilitate that type of approach if he were to be more aggressive. Only faced 1 ball so far, scored a single off that 1, and he knows he needs a lot of runs. Single down the ground. It's going to be Sachin Selvakumar. And if you are Shariagar, you'll give up these singles all day, because again, it's now at the stage of the innings where those singles even make the required rate go up. The required rate is now 10.65. You need to score and need scoring bunches. Forcing this one to mid-wicket is Moksh Gupta. Still sort of struggling to get the ball off the square. Open the batting. Strike rate of 47, 8 from 17. And under the circumstances, I think you'd be looking for more from the opening batter, who was there from the beginning, who in theory has done the hard work and seen off the opening bowlers. You get the sense that it's going to be up to him to cash in. This is cut away behind point. At least 2 runs, and in fact goes all the way for 4. That's a good looking shot. Arjun Mahesh himself cashing it in. That is his first boundary. And he needs, one would think, many more of those. By the way, the 50 is up with that stroke. 50 coming in with 2 deliveries remaining, or 3 deliveries remaining in over number 9. So there's no question that they are falling behind. You're almost to the stage now where the asking rate is close to 11. Thick outside the edge, that's going to run away for 4 more. Short third inside the circle. I don't think that went in the direction where Arjun Mahesh intended to get it, but it does not matter. 10 runs already in over number 9. A productive over, the most productive over for a while. This partnership now worth 11. They need this partnership to go on to be somewhere around 50 in about 6 or 7 overs, I think, to have something close to a chance. Because the closer things get, then the more expressive you'd want them to be. Advancing down the track, driving it wide, Sachin Selvakumar down on the boundary. They'll settle for 1 with 1 ball remaining here in over number 9. All things considered, this is a good over because, again, this is the end where you're motivated to hit from. The 4 was well struck from an average delivery. The first 4, the second 4 went behind the keeper. And you can argue that it was fortuitous. That's a single to close things out here in over number 9. 12 coming from that over. At the end of 9, the score is 59 for 1. Starting over number 10, the first delivery bowled by Aditya Ayapan. He's sailing by the outside edge. Precious dot ball here, and these dots are like pieces of gold if you are the Katy Raiders, because each dot obviously makes things more and more difficult. 115 needed now. This is dragged into the deep. They'll get at least 1. That should be the only one they'll get. Arjun Mahesh now on strike. And he'll see whether or not he can get something going here. 11 from 5 for Arjun Mahesh. Working it into the onside. Nothing happening there. 6-3 balls remaining. 114 runs needed. So you're needing to score from here at the rate of 11 runs and over. Essentially 2 runs off of every ball. 9 wickets are in hand, so you'd think something has to give one way or the other. It's going to be hard to score from this end, but we'll see what Arjun Mahesh is able to do. Working into the leg side, yep. And fielded right there by Aaron Nadkarni. 2 balls remaining here in over number 10. You're almost at the halfway stage of the innings. And one wonders whether or not the idea here should not just be to be as expressive as you need to make this game close. Driven to mid-off, no run. In fact, they do run a single there. The scoring rate has been inconsistent. 3 runs from this over, 1 ball to come. 12 from over number 9, 2 from over number 8, 7 from over number 7, 5 from over number 6, 10 from over number 5. So it's been a bit up and down. 29 runs total from the last 5, including this one. And that is the end of the over. 3 runs coming from it. Halfway through the chase, 62 without loss. Another 112 runs needed in 60 balls. And things are getting tight for the TCC Kings. We'll be right back. Last 60 balls on track. And this is going to be Darshan Haribabu. He's going to be bowling to Arjun Mahesh. In fact, they have retired one batter and replaced Moksh Gupta with Ajay Prithviraj. That's interesting. That change has been made. It is Ajay Prithviraj who just scored that single, and so I think they want more out of that position than Moksh Gupta was giving them. It is now going to be Arjun Mahesh on strike, 12 from 8. Working this one into the deep and mid wicket. Should just be one. Singles again are not going to be nearly enough. Still another 110 runs needed. Very, very long way to go. And it is the case that we're starting to run out of time now. Darshan Haribabu, 1.2 overs, none for 12. But he's bowling the difficult overs. He's bowling from the end, where if they elevate the ball into the air, it can carry a long way. This is Sachin Selvakumar down at long off. He was able to feel that and get things under control. Darshan Haribabu, the vice captain, into his second over. So let's see what can happen from here. Looks to cut this one. Extra bounce, takes it over the top of his glove, over the top of his edge, settles in the keeper's gloves. In the air, catch it is a call. It's going to land. Oh, it gets through one fielder, and they, thankfully, other fielder on the boundary is able to clean up, but they'll get a couple of runs. One ball remaining here in over number 11, though. 5 runs have scored in this over. Let's see exactly how well they do on this last ball, because Arjun Mahesh on strike, 15 from 11, would know that this is the time to get after it. Plays this late. There's a man at short third. They get a single sliding attempt that time by Ajay Prithviraj to get home. So that's the end of over number 11. 6 runs in one over from here is not nearly enough, but you don't get to another 160 runs without scoring in some way, every way that you can. So you'll take those runs to the extent that you can get them. End of 11, 68 for 1. Aditya Ayapan bowling now to Arjun Mahesh, 16 from 12, 2 fours. Aditya Ayapan, 2 overs bowled, make that 3 overs bowled, 1 for 9. This is run down to deep third, and it's going to go for 4. Very elegantly played by Arjun Mahesh. No need to overhit the ball. And again, if you have the option to play in such a way from this end that the wind helps you, you can either play with soft hands behind the wicket. A couple of times in this day's play, we've seen people step inside the line and try to work it over the leg side. Fine, because that is in the direction from which the wind is blowing. Or you can just open the face and run it down to deep third like Arjun Mahesh just did for the boundary. That's his 3rd boundary. Batted very well so far, but he needs a whole lot more than what he has right now. 20 from 13 with 3 fours. Still another 102 runs adrift of the TCC Kings. 53 balls remaining. And so, needless to say, you have a whole long way to go. There's the scoop shot I was looking for, right in this direction. Unfortunately, I get to field another ball. So, right off of stepping across, kicking it into behind the keeper, goes for 4 again. And that is easily the 3rd or 4th time I've had to field a ball today. Arjun Mahesh stepping inside the rope and whipping it over his shoulder. Goes away for 4 consecutive boundaries to open over number 12. And so the lesson there, if you're the bowler, is that you have to bowl a length that has him playing down the ground. If you allow him to get inside the line, or if it's too far outside off where he can play through the offside, he'll be looking to play it fine. So the idea is to have him driving it down the ground. Up to 24 from 14 now with 4 boundaries. And a long way to go, but that target is now under 100. Need another 98. Need them in the next 52 balls. Asking rate hovering around 11.3. And these couple of boundaries to start this over will definitely help. So where you are now, you're going to have to tell yourself this is not over. Give yourself a chance to get close to the total. Worked into the leg side. They may look for 2 here. No, don't think it's going to be possible. And that's going to be Aaron Nadkarni, who's coming across from mid-on to keep the damage to 1 run. 3 balls into over number 12. So you do have the opportunity to at least threaten, at least give yourself a chance to threaten the score. Very long way, 97 more runs, but it has to be said, it's not impossible. And if you just give yourself a chance, and you never know what might happen. You want to go into the last 4 and tries a scoop shot, scoops it right off of the stumps. An element of risk there. He'll get a couple. Big element of risk. I believe that he scooped that maybe right off of middle stump. By definition, it's a cross-batted shot. And so if you miss out there, essentially, your stumps are disturbed. 2 balls remaining in a productive over. 11 coming from that over. So you're going to need to score consistently in that range. 11 or so and over. And let's see if they can hold up. Oh, tries the scoop again. Doesn't work. In fact, he may have just adjusted his approach right at the last point before the ball got to him, but he was not able to get any bat on it. So 1 ball remaining now in over number 12. 49 balls remaining in the innings. 95 runs still needed. 1 for 20, full and driven to mid-off. throw at the non-striker's end. He gets home, so 12 runs coming from the over. A successful over from the standpoint of keeping up with the required rate. 11.75 runs and over is what you need from here, and you got 12 in this last over, the 12th. So you're keeping up with things from that standpoint. A long way to go, but you're on the way. The score is 80-1 after 12. For 1 is the score at HYPL. The spell is done. 4 overs, 1 for 21. Bowled well. Essentially, the bowlers have all bowled well. Brian Hander, 2 overs, none for 10. Aaron Nadkarni, 2 overs, none for 13. This is Darshan Haribabu continuing. Tossed up, gets the treatment, goes all the way for 6. So, you need a lot more of that. He puts his back into it. Arjun Mahesh and gets it to go all the way over the rope at deep mid-wicket for his first 6. In fact, that might have been Ajay Prithviraj. My apologies. It was Ajay Prithviraj who hit that 6. Really, I don't think they care really who hits the 6s. They just need a whole mess of them. So 6 to start over number 13. Darshan Haribabu bowling from the end again, that you don't want them to hit in the air. Reverse sweep does not get it. In fact, if that had come off the bat the way that he wanted it to, you get the sense that it could have gone down the hill for 4 more, but they only get a single. But this for me is the interesting matchup. Arjun Mahesh, 25 from 15, 4 fours. And he's going to be incentivized to hit down the ground. There he goes. How much of that did he get? Plenty of it. Lands about 5 yards over the rope at deep corner. So 13 from the first 3 balls of the 13th over. The score is 9-3. Another 81 runs needed from the next 45 balls. The required rate, 10.8. The scoring rate is going to be 7.4. It'll be a little bit less than that after that dot ball. But Arjun Mahesh, you know, has the memo. 31 from 16. Next delivery tossed up. We did not get all of this one, but it will land safely. And they wanted to come back for 2. My goodness. Oh, it misses. Just for a second there, he could have had a run out, the keeper. Took a shot at the stumps and was not able to get anything, wasn't able to hit the stumps, but that is a single. 14 from the over so far, and let's see exactly how this last over goes. Last ball rather. Down the ground, this may be catchable, and there's a catch taken by Aaron Nadkarni. Really good catch. Judged it well, moving over to his left. About in line with the side screen is where he took it, and that is the end of Ajay Prithviraj. So he tried while he was out there, 12 from 17 with a 6. I'm sorry, 12 from 7 with a 6 before that. But he holds out in the deep. Aaron Nadkarni taking a really well-judged catch. That is the last ball of over number 13 rather. 14 runs come from it. But importantly, it ends with the wicket of Ajay Prithviraj. Last 7 overs coming up, 94 for 2. So change in bowling is going to be Sachin Selvakumar bowling his leg breaks from the highway end. Aryan Tamala is the non-striker. He is going to be standing at the southern end of the ground. Arjun Mahesh, 32 from 18 with 4. Score of 80, need another 80 in the next 42 balls. It's not going to be easy facing Sachin Selvakumar because these overs are the end of the wicket again that will be difficult to score from because of the wind. So even numbered overs will be the ones where the batter 18 and 20 would be what those represent, and it would also mean that overs 15, 17 and 19 are the ones where you absolutely need to make hay while the sun shines. Here's Sachin Selvakumar, quicker, working it down in the leg side. They should get 2. Yeah, pretty comfortable 2 that time. That's, I believe, Aaron Nadkarni. Nope, that is Aaron Nadkarni down there at the boundary, who was able to get a couple or prevent them from getting a boundary, holding them to a couple. Next delivery. Appeal and giving him. Oh my goodness, what a big wicket. Wanted to cut this one away. Short ball, looking to force it through the offside. The ball obviously kissed the outside edge. Loud appeal by the keeper, and the appeal upheld by umpire Herman. So that chances of the TCC Kings. In fact, my apologies. That is Aryan Tamala, was it? Nope, that's Arjun Mahesh. Scoreboard having a little bit of trouble keeping up, but I believe that was Arjun Mahesh missed, and he's walking off, and he's not happy. Aryan Tamala has not yet faced the delivery, and Arjun Mahesh been dismissed. So now, where you are in this match is that the batter who you thought would have done the most damage and would have been able to take you to victory is back in the hutch, the captain. And now we will see who this new batter is. The scoreboard is really, well, say less about that. Let's just say we'll get the information to you when it becomes available. And now, with 48 balls remaining, another 7 to 8 runs are needed. Sachin Selvakumar striking with his first, or in his first over. And now here he is. Works this one into the leg side. Should be a couple. Nope, just one. It is Aaron Nadkarni down there. Has a really strong throwing arm, so you're not going to test him. And the next delivery coming up is going to be bowled to. Okay, the scoreboard is incorrect because it has Suvir Gulipati, who I believe is the new batter, but Arjun Mahesh says that he's still at the wicket, but I'm pretty sure he's the one who has been dismissed. But anyway, so this is worked into the offside, no run there. Here's the next delivery by Sachin Selvakumar. Cut away behind point for 4. That's going to run away down. Welcome runs. score right as soon as we're able to. But 1 ball remaining. The overall score is 101 for 3, by the way. The overall score is the big picture. 101 runs are on the board. They need air past the diving Sohan Matam, and that will run away through extra cover for another boundary. 4 that ends, I believe, ends this over. Yes, ends over number 14. I'll tell you what, 11 runs from this over. There or thereabouts. The game is not yet out of reach, and if you keep scoring, it will provide you with something going. So that's the end of over number 14. Last 6 coming up. 105 for 3. Five for 3. I believe that the scoreboard now has been updated. Shows the batters are Aryan Tumala, 8 from 3 with 2 boundaries. Seville Gudipati, 1 from 1. And once again, in the mindset of thinking of making hay while the sun shines, this would be the end from which you would expect Aryan Tumala to take on the bowling. Looking to take advantage here of Sharigar. Sharigar so far. Shot slapped in the air is going to be potentially a run out. Told him to hold it. Don't want to take the chance because you're at the point in the innings where not only do singles not hurt you, singles make the required rate go up. Required rate now 11.66. So Seville Gudipati 2 from 2, Aryan Tumala 8 from 3. You're looking to get something going down the ground here. Short, skied, Sohan Mata is there, and he puts it down. It was in the air for a long time. He had the opportunity to take that catch, but he absolutely misses out here. And gets right through the hands. That's why the coaches will tell you, try to take it up high. If you miss it, it gives you another chance to take it again. Lesson for him. Next delivery, swipe and a miss. This is going to be Aryan Tumala, 8 from 3. And as of right now, the scoring rate, or the required rate, is now up above 12. So you need more than 2 runs off of every ball the rest of the way. 67 runs needed, only 33 runs, or make that 33 balls remaining. And here's Sharigar coming in again to bowl to Seville Gudipati. Misses it again. They're coming in for a bye, and they take the bye, and they thought about a second. Not going to get a second. And Seville Gudipati wanting to take advantage of that. But I think that was a good call by Aryan Tumala to call him through for that bye. Gives you the chance. I think Aryan Tumala is the one who's more likely to generate some runs here. 9 from 4 with 2 boundaries. And here he is facing up. Full driven past the bowler down the ground. This is Sachin Selvakumar. So needless to say, it's getting progressive difficult. Remaining in the 4th stage of the innings. Here is the last ball of over card given by umpire Vivek Raj. Runs a very good over ball that time by Sharigar. 109 for 3. Last 5 overs coming up. Sachin Selvakumar has bowled 1 over. They don't need a whole lot from him other than just keeping these batters quiet. You'll accept an over from here that goes for 6, 7, 8 runs, because an over like that, when the required rate is already 13, that will push you that much further toward victory. First delivery, dragged down to long on for a single. A single is perfectly fine if you are Sachin Selvakumar. 10 fours, 2 sixes in the innings so far. Well bowled game from the standpoint of extras, only 7, and a few of those were byes. So not a lot of loose bowling, and I might go through some other stats in here just a minute. In fact, a quick change in the field as long off is coming inside the ropes. That gives me time to look through the rest of the scorecard. 33 singles, 40 dot balls, so that will be something that they'll look to improve on. The TCC Kings. Next delivery, looks to cut it. Doesn't make any contact. So 33 singles, 5 doubles, no triples yet, 4 fours and 2 sixes, and 7 extras. So overall, the stats would indicate that they are going along in a way that will allow them to be at least competitive. But if they don't put something together in the next few, they will look back on the fact that they had 40 dot balls up until this point in the innings, and that will be something that they will regret. 1-1-1 for 3 is the score. These singles do not in any way hurt you, and they'd absolutely help you. Tossed up, swipe and a miss. 2 runs already from over number 16. Brilliant bowling so far by Sachin Selvakumar. His 1.4 overs have only cost 13, and he's taken a wicket. Next delivery. Tossed up. Oh, that's well struck over the top of extra cover. And it goes away for 4. That is Aryan Tamala, 11 from 7. Make that now 15 from 8 with 3 boundaries. And going into the last 4 overs, you would think if you're looking to pick areas to score from, you want to take advantage of anything loose, and that one was too wide by Sachin Selvakumar. But this next over and one, next over is over number 17, and then over 19 after that. Those are the 2 that you'd expect for them to hit big. Working this one into the gap. Do they want 2? No, they're just jogging. Just 1 there. So 7 runs from that over. You'll be perfectly fine with that if you're Sachin Selvakumar, despite the 50, despite the 4. And it appears as though there is some communication. Not sure exactly what they're trying to indicate to the score, to the umpire. In fact, a whole contingent of TCC Kings are walking onto the field. Not sure what this is about. it is a strategic timeout. Okay, apologies. That's the end of over number 16. Strategic timeout coming up, and we'll be back to see whether the TCC Kings can get 58 runs in the next 4 overs. We'll be right back. So down to the last 4 overs, the last 24 balls, 58 more runs needed, and Aaron Nadkarni back into the attack. It's about 2 overs so far. These 2 overs have cost 13 runs, but the first over cost 12, so he's been expensive in the second. Slower delivery, that's well bowled. It gets through the attempted drive, and they're not able to get any runs from it though. So 116 for 3, a long way to go, and you're now officially running out of deliveries. 23 remaining, asking rate north of 15, so looking more and more dire as of this stage. Now let's see what you're able to come up with here. Aaron Nadkarni again, big fast bowler coming in now to bowl to Savurgudapati. Down the ground, catchable and taken. Pretty simple catch. That's well bowled. Wait a minute. Did he put that down? I believe that he put that down. My goodness, I thought it was.